Hi everybody, hello. We're still progressing with our purple Flippy Flappy. We have completed this side, the right hand side as we look at it. We've completed the back section. So the only section still to do is the left section. So a bit of construction today while we get the main parts of this put down. So first thing I need is some of the design pad. So let's just get one piece out. That's really nice, isn't it? What have I got there? I've got dotties, so I don't really want dotties. I've got that. Does that measure 8 inches? It's possible that it does. Yeah, it does. So let's go with that one then. It's nice and light. I haven't got it anywhere else there, so it's something different. And not that you'll see a whole lot of this, but you know, you will. So work out where your hinge is on this one, where the line is. And this is going to be, once again, our hinge point. Let me just see. I've got a mock-up of it here. Yes, I have. This is my mock-up. Yeah, okay, I'm all right. So this goes onto there, like so. Let me just check what that measures. It's just a touch over 8. And because it is, it's not fitting on flush with that. It's just a smidge, which I can't be having. So let's just trim that off. So you want this piece to be 8 exactly by 12. So I'm just going to take just the smallest smidge off here. Make sure we're straight. There we are. It's just that much, but it would have bugged me. So that can go away. So this is going to go on here. It's going to attach to this piece and become a pocket, as you can see. And it's going, I want it to be, I mean, this is 6 inches. I wish I knew where my Timmy ruler was. I've got fabric and everything here. That measures exactly 6 inches. So I'm going to make this just a little bit shorter than that. Just 5 7/8, just so I can be sure that it fits in. So let's get the scoreboard out. And so this is 12 here. So here's my 6. So I want my first score line to be just this side, 1 pip to the right of the 6. So that's means this section here is 5 7/8. So score there, score at 6, and then score at 5 7/8 from there, so 1 pip across. So what we've done is we've scored at 6 and 1 pip either way. So you should have 3 lines, 3 score lines down there, 1 at 6, 1 at a pip less than 6 on the left side, 1 at a pip more than 6 on this side, and they will fold like that. Just give us a bit of room for expansion, really. So I'm just going to crease those in like that. Let's put this away, I don't need it just for the time being. So that is going to fit on there like that perfectly, and then this is going to fold, it's going to fold up actually and gets built onto. So I want to cut this off. I want to leave about, let's have a look what I want to leave. maybe about 3 inches. Yeah, about 3 inches. So you can cut that off, trim it off. So get that last line up to the 3-inch mark, which is there. This bit doesn't have to be dead exact, so don't beat yourself up about it. Something like 3 inches. And cut that off. So there we are, we've got a remnant. Another remnant. So let me just show you what we've got. We've got a hinge there with 3 lines on it. We've got a piece here from the hinge. This piece here measures 5 7/8, and it's going to go there like that. Then we've got our hinge and this side pocket here. So we can stick that on now. The only problem that I have is, as ever, I've got my washi tape here, so I'm going to have to take a gamble on it sticking. If not, I'm going to have to leave it overnight. Again, glue. So I want to come from that, just make sure you can see where that line is, which is there. So I'm going to put my glue along the top, and I want quite a bit of glue. The whole section's kind of hanging off this, so it needs to be quite well grounded. And then down here, and along the bottom. Quite a bit of glue there. I'm being quite generous with it. Actually, what I'm thinking is I'm going to come at this side of that washi tape. If you've got a problem similar to mine, I recommend you do this as well. I'm just going over onto the card. So it'll make the pocket less deep, but not by much. And at least then I know it will get a proper good stick. Proper good stick is what's needed. There we go. So let's stick that in place. Just right there. And right there. Wipe the excess glue off. Give that a good press down there, and then just make sure that you've got that where you need it. Yeah, that looks good to me. Right, I'm going to clip that in place while it dries. I'm going to give it a really good press down first. That should be alright because it's not solely on the washi tape. So we should be okay. But I am going to clip it anyway. So I think we'll do this section, the left-hand section, in bite-sized chunks, as it were. Just so you can follow it, you can keep up, and you're not being swamped by all the things that... Oh, one for the cat. Oh no, it's landed there. There we go. So we've got this. So when you open this up, this is what you'll see. You'll see this pocket, which will have something nice in it, hopefully, and something here, because I managed to get glue on it, so we need to put something over there. And then when you open this, this will be another pocket. There'll be something else attached to here, and this will be all decorated. Okay, right, so I think the thing to do probably is to decorate this and this before we move on. Then we feel we've got somewhere, don't we? So this actually, I'm just checking with my mock-up. let's start with the pocket. It's an easier place to start, isn't it? So I want to put something over here because this really is, excuse me, I've just had my lunch. It's looking a little grubby, so I want to put something over it. So I've got that. Could I put that over it? That might look quite nice, mightn't it? If I cut those drawers off at the bottom and use the bit with the lavender or whatever. I don't think they are lavender actually. Let's cut the drawers off. I'm going to use that bit. Just about there. I'm going to keep those because they are so useful in tags and stuff like that. And then I want to keep as many of the flowers as I can, but I do want to have a border as well. So pencil. I'll be using my pencil all morning. Now it's gone lost. No, here it is. So I'm going to cut that there and there. And then I'll have a nice piece to stick down and hide all my grubbiness. There we go. That's square, yeah. And this one, where's my mark? There it is. And keep these as well, keep everything. You never know when you might just need it. So yeah, that's going to go there quite nicely, I think. It's going to cover a multitude of sins. Yeah, that's quite nice. So that's ink around there. I might stitch around it actually. Yeah, because we've done quite a bit of stitching, haven't we? And I don't want to stop now. But let's just see if there's anything else I need to stitch while I'm at it. Oh, I thought it wasn't coming out purple. It's because I'm using my brown dauber. Here's my purple one. Let's try it instead. Don't even know what that brown one's doing out. Go on. Over the bit that I did brown, because I don't need that. Right, so I'm going to stitch around that, put that on there, like that. And then I want a nice big journaling card in here. So, what have I got? Good question. I do have those ones that I've found. These ones. I mean, that's very pretty, isn't it? These ones. They're not quite what I had in mind. Let's see what we've got here. That's nice. Yeah, quite like that. It's just a lot of shabbiness going on. Oh, that's gorgeous. Would that fit in? Probably not. Oh, you know, it just might. Let's try it out and see if it does. That'd be fabulous. Absolutely fabulous if that fitted in. I'd be delighted. I think I can take that just a little bit that way. And I'm going to definitely have to trim a little bit off the bottom. And the top. So let's have a look then. Isn't that gorgeous? I know it's a hydrangea and the whole book's about lavender, but even so, look at that. That's just brilliant. It's made my day. Great. So I need to back that with some white card, ink around it and stitch around it. So let's do that. Let's get some white card. Yeah, somebody was asking, must have been on YouTube, what thickness paper I was using. I can't remember what it was even for now. Generally, I do tell you the thickness of paper I'm using. So this is just a fabulous journaling card. I'm delighted to see it. I think I have used this My Porch Prince hydrangea in many guises actually over the years. There we go. So I'm going to sew around that, then come back, cut that out and ink it and stitch around that. So I'll see you when I've got all of that lot done. Okay, so I've stitched around that, and stuck it on. This I'm just enchanted by. It's lovely. I love it. But it needs some dingle dangles, of course. I don't know whether even to put something on that, you know. I could. What have I got? Too wide. I've got these long, tall ones. Ah, look, this one matches the thing at the bottom. I could put that on there. That would look gorgeous. Let's just do it. So I'm just going to soften up this cardboard again. Otherwise it doesn't want to really lie flat. It deforms the paper rather than itself, and I don't want that. But I mean, don't crease it, just work it a little bit, soften it up a little bit. Mr. F's found me a tub of wet wipes. Oh, you need to see it to believe it. It's quite a large tub. I'll reach it for you in a second. It'll give you a laugh. Let's stick that on there. I like that. I think it adds something, doesn't it? Mr. F, oh Mr. F.
Yeah.
Could you pass me that little box of wet wipes that you found, please, for me to use?
Certainly. So they're the pocket size ones?
Yeah, pocket size. Look at it! It's a whole bucket. It's a pail. Oh my life. No nonsense multitask wipes. Heavy duty wipes. Cleans hands and tools and removes difficult soils. Excellent. And there are 300. So that should keep me going for a while. I don't know where I'm going to keep it because there's no room for it on my desk. It's gigantic.
You make industrial size messes, you need industrial size wet wipe.
Well, that's true actually. I'm hoping that it's going to be quite good on, they're going to be quite good on cleaning my media mat and stuff like that. That gets really messy, you know, it does get hard use. So that's going to go there. Oh, maybe a little bit further over. Yep, there, lovely. And that's going to match really nicely with that paper there. I've got these things. I'm darn well going to use them. There's no point me having leftover at the end because I will never be making, well, I shouldn't say never, unless it's a commission, I won't be making another one of these. Because I made it now. And I'd get bored if I had to do another one. There we are, that's stuck on there nicely. So the next thing to do is, yeah, that is stuck on there, is to find something to decorate this with. Right, well, I've got the bits that are cut out from the book. That's nice, I like that. That's also nice. That is nice actually, I like that. Yeah, okay. And then I've got these sort of oval pieces. Oh, these are also nice. Yeah, there's lots of nice things. Little tag. No, make your mind up from what you've got. So I've got these nice oval pieces. I quite like the idea of that. I like that. And I've got these roundel things here that I could also attach. Yeah, I think that's what's going to happen. Okay, so let's make some holes in those. Sorry if you can hear my tummy rumbling. I don't know why it's rumbling, because we've just had lunch. And a hole in this one as well. Just about there. Lovely. So I'll get my crocodile out. It's just the little hole, the small hole that I'm using. Just clear out that hole first. So these should be nice, I think. Make a nice bit of frou-frou for us. Lovely. Great. Okay. So just need to be strung together, and I'm just going to pause you there while I string these, because you've seen me do it before. Okay, so I tied those on, and that's them there. Aren't they lovely? They're so pretty. Right, so the next thing to do is, let's see if that's stuck. That's stuck nicely. So I'll just unclip it because I want to work on the back of this piece, on this piece here. Right, so the first thing to do is, well, first thing to tell you is it's a flippy floppy page. There's a flip goes up and there's a flip comes out. So we want to just make sure we know where that is, and that's the line we're going to work up to. The one that's, there's 3 lines, we want to work up to the line that is on the right side of those 3 lines. So I need some design paper, so let's have a look, see what we've got. Same old. Oh!
What's that? Don't.
So, yeah, it's a flippy flappy page. I'm not sure, I lost contact with you there, I'm not sure exactly where it was, but this is a flippy flappy page. The top part flips up and this part flips this way, and we're working this hinge here. It's got 3 lines, 3 score marks on it, and we're working up to the score mark that's the one on the right hand side, so that one there. So this is the width that we're working on. Okay, so let's get the design pad out and select some papers. Oh no, all my remnants went flying. Let's pick them up. There we go. Let's see if I've got any remnants that will do the job. I've got hearts, they're nice, and they're not anywhere in that spread. So yeah, let's use the hearts then. Seems like a good opportunity to use them. So I want this flip on the top to be about there. What does that measure? It measures about 4.5 inches. So I want it to be 4.5, but I'm going to have to stick it on somehow. So I need to score 1/2 inch at the top. So I'm going to cut this at 5 inches. Excuse me. So I can score over 1/2 inch and it'll still come 4.5 inches down. Before I do that though, I do think that I should cut it off to the appropriate width that I want. And then we'll come back to the 4.5 inches. So I want it to come to there. So let's trim that off. I don't think that's going to fit in my little Timmy trimmer. So let's get the big trimmer out. There we go. So that is, yeah, that's pretty good. So I want a piece that's 5 inches for the top flip. And that's going to go there like that. Just a touch wide. Just need to trim just a smidge off it just to get it exactly right. That's perfect. It fits in there perfectly, so that's going to go there. And I shouldn't have trimmed it off to the right width because yeah, I need to put a hinge on this. So have I got any more of that? I've got this, but I don't, it's not big enough, is it? That's daft. Daft thing to do. Let's see. What else? I mean, it could be a different thing altogether. I could use that, for example. That will be fine. That will be fine. Oh, bits dropping out left and right. Just put that away. Right, so that's that bit there, and it comes to there. So I want a piece here that comes to there, bit of an overlap. So I'm overlapping about 1 inch, approximately 1 inch. And it is approximate, it's about there somewhere. And I want it to come to there, that way. And then I want my score line there. So I want it 1/2 inch longer than that score line. So, sorry I keep banging the table. And it makes the microphone echo, I'm sorry. So let's cut that there. And here I've got a mark and I want 1/2 inch beyond that mark. So there we go, like that. Right. So that's going to go there. Folded in at the side. That's going to go there, folded in at the top. So let's get the scoreboard out. And I just want to score up there where that line is, which is 1/2 inch, would you believe? Well done. Whoops. So fold that in, and 1/2 inch on the top one. This is directional, the hearts go one way, so if yours is, make sure that you're doing it at the top of your page. There we go. And on the back we've got that nice purple, different shades, very nice. So fold that in, that's going to go there, perfect, and this one is going to go there, and I can see that's just great. Yeah, that's fine. Right, but what I want is I want them to flap that way, and I want a string and button closure on it. So what am I going to do first? I think the thing to do is sew around them. So I'm going to ink around them and then I'm going to sew around them. And then I'll come back to you when I've done that, that's the thing. Right, so I've stitched around those and I've made myself 2 buttons, same way as ever. It's 3 thicknesses of the card from the pack. And the next thing to do really is stick these on, but before I do, I'm just going to put them in place where they're going. Kind of like that. That will be further down, obviously, but I just want to make sure I get the buttons in the right place. So I do really need to find my Timmy ruler. Ah, found it. It was just there. So halfway across here, what does this measure in total? Oh, I'm going to have to use my centering side because it's some weird thing. So get that in the center. That's it there. So it is 2 7/8 each side. And then I'm going to make a mark there, and that's where that button's going to go. And this should be the same, not including the flap, not including the hinge. This should measure about the same. So let's go to 2 7/8 and see if it, oh yes it does, my goodness me, that's amazing. So let's just bring that down a little bit, so we're just down there, down, and then we'll try that for size. Make a mark there. It's just easier to do these when they're not attached than trying to wobble around with all this in tow. So that's going to go there, and this is going to go there like that. So I've got one there and one there, and that looks perfect to me. Looks perfect. Let me just tell you how high that is. It is 1 3/4 inches from the bottom edge, and this one, I'll do it from the bottom as well, is 2 1/4 from the bottom edge. So let's get the big crocodile out again, make the hole with the largest hole. Just make my hole. There's Catkin saying hello. What's the matter, Catkin? There. So then I want some eyelets to attach my buttons. So 2 gold. I really have to order some eyelets. The eyelet situation's getting dire. There we are. So 1 button. This is a light mauve colour. It looks kind of white, but it is a light mauve. So that goes through there. That goes through there. Push that all the way forward to the setting position. And then set it. I think that's all right. Yeah, I'm quite happy with that. Do this one as well, exactly the same manner. Through there, and set it. Yeah, I think that's okay. Lovely. So now we can attach our flippy floppies. So they just get glued on. So this goes, it gets glued to the right hand side, right on the edge there. And if it's straight, it should fit perfectly. And it does. Zippity doo dah. There we go. And this one gets stuck to the top. Now for this, I'm going to turn this round. I just find it easier when it's closer to me. These danglies are lovely, but when you're still doing the construction, they don't half get in your way. Mr. F's gone out just local to get a few bits and pieces that we need. Some tomatoes and such like. So this comes just to the top there and just to the inside of that score mark. There we go, like that. And that should all be nice and straight, which it is. So we can give that a good firm press down. Lovely. Let's put the lid on my glue. It's really warm in here. Despite the fact it's a sunny day, it wasn't a sunny start to the day. So we put the fire on. And now we don't really need it, to be fair, but it's on, so it's quite warm in here. Right, so there we are. We've got our two flippy floppies. They look straight, yeah, I think so. Okay, so now I need to cover this entire piece because I've got these two here and I don't like that at all. So I need to cover it with something. So let's have a look what I've got. I've got a very, very pretty piece. That's nice. That's not too dark, is it? That's quite nice. That's also very nice. Come on. I quite like this. You know, if I use that bit there, I think. Yeah, lovely, lovely, lovely. They're all lovely. But I think this piece is probably the winner today. Right, so I'd like it to be right up to that line there. And I'm going to chop a chunk out the middle. About there, I think. And I'm just going to make a mark where I need to trim it to. So the same width as this. As the flippy floppy, exactly the same width. So let's trim that off first. I'll save those, they're quite useful bits. Excuse me. So that will go there, right up to where that folds. like that. That'll go there. This is pushing this way, and it's all right. It's okay. It's okay. Yeah, it's all right. Just got to be careful with it, I think. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's fine. That's great. Right. So where do I need to trim this off at then? Here. So let's do that. Lovely. And I just want to stick that down. It's just the back piece. You can, if you want to, sew around it. I'm not going to because I haven't really sewn around any of the large pieces. Not really. So I'm not going to stitch around it. I am, however, going to ink around it and then stick it down. So yeah, I mean, if you're following me and using everything I'm using, this isn't the cheapest journal you've ever made. But my mother used to always say, actually she said it in relation to making pans of broth, but she used to say, you only get out what you put in, and if you only put the best in, you'll only get the best out, which is very true, actually. So yes, I'm using expensive ingredients, as it were. Yeah, that'll be fine, I think. But the end product should hopefully look really nice. I'm hoping so, anyway. It looks so much nicer than I imagined it was going to look. What feels like years ago when I bought that purple pad in the range. I didn't see it ending up this pretty, if I'm honest with you. But I am delighted with it. I think the Stamperia Provence paper has really made a huge difference to it. Just a bit too much glue there. Right, so I want to put this in. Flush with the bottom is actually the most important bit. It's the bit you'll notice most. And if you've done it right, it should just be square like that. And that's lovely. That's perfect. We're just, yeah, we're absolutely bang on there. That's great. So that folds down, no problem. That folds in, no problem. Excellent. That's lovely. Lovely job. Right, so now we need to decorate this page. Put the lid on there. So, first thing I'm going to do is, I don't really want to see the back of the, excuse me. Yeah, I don't really want to see the back of that eyelet particularly. So I want to make a pocket is what I want. And I want, there's a nice remnant here on the ground. That was a bit of a stretch. That I think would just make the most perfect pocket there, like that. Round the corner off, and it'll be like a little tuck pocket. Maybe doesn't need to be quite that long. I could bring it to about there. So let me do that and then I'll tell you exactly what it measures. It measures, I'll tell you in a minute, I just want to see it. Yeah, that's great. Okay, it should go that way, it's directional, that paper, I keep forgetting that. Yeah, that's it. So width-wise, it measures a little over 3.5, and height it measures a little over 3 3/4. So I'm going to cut the corner off of that, and I'm actually going to use a 1/2 inch side on this occasion. There we go. I'm going to ink round it and stitch it, and I'll be back to you. I decided not to stitch round it because I've stitched round this. I don't want it to be a complete stitch fest, so let me just squash these stitches down so they look a little better. There we are. And then I'm going to glue that just inside the stitches there, like that. So just on the 2 sides that are furthest away from that curved corner. So it's not a gusseted tuck, it's just a tuck. If I start putting gussets in everything, I'm really soon going to have some ridiculous thickness. So there's no gussets in here. No gussets here, my lord. Right, so I'm going to use the stitching as my guide. Perfect. Stick that down. There we go. So I just want something to tuck behind it, really. With a dingly dangly on it, obviously. What can I put behind it? Probably a piece of design pad, maybe? I don't know, what have I got? Have I still got... In the full spirit of disclosure, I have to tell you that I have ordered another 8x8 of this Provence and a 12x12. I don't know how it happened, it just happened. I clicked on it before I knew it, I'd bought it. So I'm sorry. We'll see, I might not use any of it. Yeah, right. That's quite nice. I keep saying that, don't I? And then I never choose it. Oh, one of those might look quite nice on there. Oh, have I got anything else up here? Let's one thing at a time. Stop getting ahead of yourself. These are just all, plain patterns. I mean, they're not plain, but they're the whole sheet patterns. And that's not really what I'm after. I'm dropping things right and left here. I'll leave that out because I think one might go on there. So I could use a piece of this because it'll complement that. That is just so pretty. That's one of the more plain ones. That's nice. That's very nice. Let's leave that out. And that's nice with the butterflies on it as well. Right, okay. So, these patterns are too big. I can't fit them in. What about these butterflies? I think they might fit in. What do they measure? Let's see what they measure. Top to bottom they measure 3.5. And that measures 3 3/4. That's great. I'll use those. And I want them to be about 4.5 wide. 4.5 wide. So let's get my centering ruler on here. 4.5 is 2 1/4 each way, which is there and there. Actually, let's just draw a line down through the middle of them, which is there, and then I want 2 1/4 each side from there. That's easier to do for me anyway. So put my centre 0 on that mark I've just drawn, then 2 1/4 that way, 2 1/4 this way. I can trim it off at that. That's the way forward, I think. I know I have some sort of cockeyed ways of doing things. You don't have to do it as cockeyed as me, you really don't. If you have a better way of doing things, then do it. Where's my mark? Must be that one there, I think. Okay, so I want it to measure, what did I say, 4? Wrong end, you silly woman. Yeah, about 4. I'm going to do it to about 4. And they measure 3 1/2, so yeah, a little bit. I can always trim a bit more if I need to. Let's see what that looks like. Okay, why do you want to be awkward? I think that's going to be alright. I'm going to chop it off just at the top of the butterflies there. And I am going to back it because I need some force to get in there. It's not wanting to go in because it's at a funny angle, I think. But that should be fine in there. Yeah, I mean, that's great. It's fabulous. But I am going to back it just with white paper. I'm not going to stitch it because I don't think I've got room for the stitches. So I'm just going to stick that and ink it, and I'll be right back. Right, okay, I've inked around that. I actually rounded the corners off as well, so it goes in more easily, and that fits in there quite nicely now actually. But it needs some dangles, doesn't it? And this needs decorating. So I've pulled out this, which was from the Provence book, paper book itself, so I thought that would go there very nicely. And then these, I cut them out like that because I think they're supposed to be little books, but I just want this section here, so I'm just going to chop it up. Like that. And I'm going to use that on there with a little heart, and I think that'll look nice there. Okay, so that's all I'm going to do, and I'll see you back here. Right, so there we are. We've got that. We've got our little bits in the corner, and I've stuck that on. Great. So now the next thing to deal with is, let me just fold that over there. It might be a bit easier to deal with. Is to put a pocket on here, and I want it, a side pocket, to come up to about there. Oh, I've got glue. My hands are so gluey. It's unbelievable. Right, so what sort of, let me just get rid of the keyboard. What sort of remnants have I got that I could make a pocket with? My desk is a holy show. Well, that's not, Spotty Dotty's nice. Wonder if, would that be enough? No. But I have got that. And that would be perfect, so let's use that. And it's the same as that, so we have a bit of coordination. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to come in inside the stitching, and make a mark just a little bit up. You don't want to be interfering with where it folds over, so just a little bit up. In fact, if you move it across, you'll see where the stitching is, so mark where the stitching is, and that's that. And I want it, well, I'll cut that first and then we'll have a look at it. So that's going to fit there nicely, like that, but I don't want it quite going all that way along, but I do want it to cover the button, which is there, so about there, I think about there. So I'll tell you in a second exactly what this pocket measures. It measures 4 inches across, and height wise it measures 4 1/4 exactly. So is that the way I had it? No, that's good, because it is directional, it does go that way, and I was thinking for a moment I'd cut it wrong. So I'm just going to ink around there, then stick that on. I just don't want to ink on top of that in case bits come off my dauber, which they sometimes do. It's a relatively new sponge, this, so I don't think it's coming off in chunks yet. There we go, lovely. So we can glue that around this side, and this side, so just hold the side I don't want to glue. I'm just going to turn this round again, just find it a bit easier. So just want it there, just up to the stitches, like that. Marvellous. Perfect. Give that a good press down. Lovely. So we need a card to go in there then. Once I'm satisfied that's stuck. There we go. Right, so I want my card to measure. Whew, it's so warm in here. I'm roasted alive. About, well, I'll cut it at 4 3/4, but because of what I'm doing, I might need to cut more off it. So 4 3/4 by 3 3/4, I'd say would work. 4 3/4 by 3 3/4. I think the thing to do probably is use a piece of design paper. 4 3/4 by 3 3/4. Let's put the lid on my glue, because in this heat it's just going to glue up. Maybe a piece of that would look quite nice. Yeah, let's use that. Four 3/4 by 3 3/4, and there's not really an upsy downsy on this. 4 3/4 by 3 3/4. do the box really for my smaller bits of remnants. So does that want to go in there? Oh yes, it does. And that's just the button. It's just got to ease its way past the button. Yeah, okay. So I'll show you what I have in mind for putting on there, and then you'll see we might have to cut some off there. I'm going to use one of the butterflies that are printed out, which are here somewhere. Here they are. And I'm going to use the largest one that there is, which is that one. I'm going to stick it down to another piece of paper so it's got a bit more heft to it. What have I got paper wise? Oh. Yeah, that'll do. Actually, it's a piece of mixed media paper, but it's fine. That'll do fine. Let's just trim this out a bit more so I can see where I'm gluing. Yeah, so I'm going to stick that on there. Ooh, glue strings. Like that, but you can see it just needs a second or two to dry because it's still moving around on the paper. Okay, so I waited for that to dry and I fussy cut it out. I spared you that horror. So I'm now going to stick it onto this. That's going in that way. So I want to put this here on the end, and I just really want to stick it on by the tips of its two wings to there, like that. So let's do that. Well, the tip and 1/4 of an inch, say. Just so it does actually stick. There we go. Just pop that fairly centrally there. I think that's fairly central. So it's just the top 1/4 of an inch of his wing. There we go. Just make sure that's firmly pressed down. So all the bottom part of him is not glued on at all. And then we'll see if we need to cut any of this card off. This is getting to be a real thing now, isn't it? So that's going to go in there like that. And I want the butterfly, yay, to come over the top like that. And I'm quite happy with that. I think that looks good. That's how I intended it to be. You can see it's just hanging over this top edge. And it looks kind of like, how's that working? But now you know. So I'm inundated with scissors all of a sudden. So that's that done. So we've got this bit done and this bit done. So that's our Flippy Flappies. I'm not saying we won't come back and add some bits to them. You know, we probably will. But now I need to attend to this. So what I intend doing is putting a big acetate window in it. And for that, I'm going to need some design paper. So let's have a look and see what's available to us. Yeah, I'm going to have to start putting these little remnants somewhere because they keep falling out. It's not funny. It's not a funny game anymore. What's on the back of that? Ooh, that's nice, isn't it? My pads parted company with the cardboard. Would that be nice? I think so. I'm going to use that. Right. So what do I want it to measure? I don't want it to take up all of this space, but a good chunk of it. So the whole thing measures 5 3/4, of course, we know that, we measured it. And so I'd like the acetate window to be 4.5 inches wide and 6 inches tall. 4.5 by 6. Okay, let's fold some of these lot in out of my way. Don't worry, it doesn't actually go like that in the end. This does come out over the top in the final reckoning, like that. Oh, look at it, it's getting chunky, chunky, chunky monkey. What does I say? 4.5 by what? After all that, I've forgotten. I've told you, I have to write things down. It's my age. I forget. So here we are again. 4.5 was definitely the width. And the height, I think, is 6. Right, 4.5 by 6. Don't be sidetracked by anything else. That's what I'm going to cut. 4.5 by 6. 4.5 by 6. Is that going to fit in there? Just no. That's a shame. 4.5 by 6. So let's cut the 4.5 off along here. I'll cut the 6 on the little Timmy trimmer because this doesn't go quite to 6. And this just goes to 6, which is all it needs to do. I don't need it any more than that. Not convinced that's utterly square. Let's try the other side. Yeah, that's better. Right, so I've got that remnant. Let's just have a look at it and see what we think. Yeah, I think that's going to be fine. Going to be nice. So I want to cut out the insides of it again, as usual. So I'll just get my cutting board out. And I'm going to draw on it. I think I'm going to do it the 5/8 that I normally do it. It's just a nice, it looks nice, but it still leaves enough sturdiness. So I'm going to do 5/8 all the way around. Then cut it. I'm not sure what day you'll be watching this. I'm trying to work ahead a little bit. Wrong side of ruler. Yeah, I'm trying to work ahead just a little bit so as I can have a day off. So sort of doing 2 some days. So maybe I can have a day off. I mean, tomorrow, this is Wednesday when I'm filming this. And tomorrow is Mr. F's birthday. And we are going, I'm taking him out for the day. I'm taking him out to a craft shop. Yeah, it's more like a day trip for me. I'll grant you. But he likes just going places, so he'll be quite happy. And I'm going to a craft shop called the Mad Scrapper in just outside Edinburgh. It's over 100 miles for us, but you know, we live in the middle of nowhere, so you have to be prepared to put the miles in if you do want to get anywhere living here. So we'll set off relatively early and get up there, have a nosy around. They do sell a lot of 49 and Market, So I'm looking forward to seeing all that. There we are, that's a remnant. And Mr. F has already scoped out the charity shops and where they are, so that will please him. He loves doing that. He really does love doing that. So, and now I'm going to ink around it. Where's my double? Here it is. So yeah, that's what we're going to do tomorrow for his birthday. So, needless to say, I'm really looking forward to that. But I don't want to have to make a video as well. And I don't want to hold up you folks that are actually making this. Because I know if you get a day where you're not doing it, it's like endless. You really want to be getting on with it. I know that. I appreciate that. So, I'm trying to do 2 videos some days. And then maybe I can get Saturday off as well. I don't know. See how it goes. But I mean, there's still quite a bit left of this journal to do. It's supposed to be a nice sunny day tomorrow, so that's good. I don't think we'd have contemplated it if the forecast had said rain and miserableness. Right, there we are. So we need a piece of acetate. Have I got any here? I don't think so. I think I need a new piece. So this is what I use, overhead projector sheets, which Mr. F got in a charity shop for $1.99, and I don't know, 100 pieces, 100 sheets for $1.99. Can't beat it. It's because nobody uses overhead projectors anymore, and people haven't thought outside the box that you can use the acetate for other things. So let's just get the here we are, fine liners, what I'm trying to say, and make a mark where I want to cut it. Ooh. There we go. Cut that out, plenty left for another time. So I'm just going to stick that down there, then I'm going to stitch around it as well. So this is just going to be a pretty pocket really, at the back of that Flippy flap. You've got to have something pretty if you've worked your way through all the flip flaps to get here. So we'll just drop that on into place like that. There we are. And then I'm just going to stitch around it. So I'll be back when I've done that. Right, okay, so I've inked that, sewn it, whatever. I put a line of stitching around the outside and then a line next to the acetate. So I've held the acetate in place. But what I want to do now is put some washi tape, says she, frantically looking for it. Here it is. Just along this top edge of the acetate, because 10 to 1 on, when you're putting a card in, it'll catch on that acetate and it'll drive you mad. It just will. It's just the way of the world. So I'm going to put some glue down here, I'm well aware that my washi tape is orange. It'll be fine, you'll never see it. It's just going to serve this purpose for me. And I recommend that you do it, honestly I do, because it's so annoying. So I don't want to take it right to the edge, because then I'm going to have the problem with the washi tape not sticking at the corners. So I've put glue there, but I hadn't meant to really. So right up to the edge, just a whisker underneath it, like that. Hopefully this isn't going to show on the right side. Let's just check. No, we're okay. It must be just, I can tell you, because it's very close. So just along there, like that. And then when you come to the... it doesn't want to stick to anything, but it wants to stick to my media board. So just tear that off there, and then I'm just going to tear that edge off there. Well, I'm going to have to cut a bit off. Just be awkward, why don't you? There, right, so what I've got is washi anywhere where that card would go, and I haven't put the washi right up to the corners because, as we know, it is a pig to stick. It doesn't want to stick. So I've taken that out of the equation. So that's going to go about there, further, more down than up. I'm going to put the ink, no I'm not, I'm going to put the glue, let's just wipe that off, around the other three edges that don't have the washi tape on. I hope you're feeling very proud of yourself if you've got this far. You really should. Because, to be honest, we're kind of on the homeward straight now. This is the last section sort of thing. This left-hand section. And this is probably the most, maybe the most complicated of the sort of spreads in here. So if you've got this far, well done. Very well done, in fact. It's a lot of work. Right, so I want this to be straight, so I'm going to get my ruler out. And I'd like it to be down from that, so that's 1 inch from the bottom. What does that look like? No, a bit more. That's 3/4. Yeah, let's do that. That looks about right. So I'm holding my ruler on 3/4, and I'm hoping that's something like central there. I think it is. So I'm just going to push that up to where the ruler is, and it should be square. That's the theory. I don't know why that doesn't want to stick, but it doesn't. It's just like it's never seen glue in its life. Right, 3/4. Holding my ruler there. Get that on there. Maybe a little bit further that way. Yeah, okay. Right. Let's have a look and see what we think. Yeah, I think that looks nice. Actually. Yeah, the thing about this EVA glue that I use, it's not instant grab. It's nearly instant grab. And once it's grabbed, it's grabbed. You know, you wouldn't be able to peel it off. But you just have to apply a bit of pressure to it, And once it's got the idea it's sticking, it's definitely sticking. So that's nice. I like that. So I'm just going to give that a minute to dry, and while that is drying, I'm just going to address the problem. Well, it's not a problem. The issue of decorating this. So, where are we? Here we are. So on the other Flippy flap, I put that, and I do like that. I have another one of those. I've got this one. Oh, that would go there, and it sort of picks up on that, actually. It's quite nice, that. Well, that wasn't much of a problem, was it? Not at all. So I'm just going to ink round this. And I'm doing it on top of my book, which I shouldn't be. So I'm just going to move backwards. There we are, and that's going to go there. And that's our decoration. And doesn't it look lovely? So, glue. Yeah, somebody asked me on the live on Sunday about the distress collage medium and, you know, what other people thought of it. I must say, I don't think very highly of it, actually. Timmy tells me that it has a drying time of now, which to me implies it's dry as soon as you put it down, and I can assure you that is not the case. It really isn't. Might be in Arizona where he lives, but it certainly isn't here. In fact, it takes quite a while to dry. And it's not, you know, it's not instant grab or anything. It's anything but. So it's not my favourite glue, really, at all. So that's going to go there, and I want that pretty square. Like that, I think that's fine. So there we go. Now then, I'm going to leave this, the pocket, until my other Stamperia Provence papers come, because I'm hoping there'll be something really nice to put in that pocket. Time will tell. But ostensibly we've finished this. So that flips in like that. Oh no, we need to decorate these. And that flips like that. So we need something on these. Let's have a look at the chipboard pieces. See if there's something on there. Just put these away. Let's tip them out again. See what we've got. Way! We've got some on the ground. Where did it go? I don't even know what it was. I'll look for it later. Oh, I didn't even know we had that. It says love. Isn't that pretty? I've got that one. It says happiness. I've got the watering can. Yeah, I mean, I've got all these pieces, okay? I've got lots of pieces. That perfume bottle's pretty. That's a bit too big. Yeah, I've got these two that are sort of the same size. One says parfum and the other says love. Let's see what they look like, shall we? Love and parfum. No, I need something a bit more than that. I've got a perfume bottle and a watering can. Don't know what I think. I quite like it. It's quite nice. Let's leave that for the time being. My little heart. I've got these two. I don't think they're quite big enough. I need something. Oh, that's nice for you. My other heart. That, which I think I'm going to put on the very front. It says lavender. It's just appropriate. Oh, I've got that. That might be quite nice. That, and that. Okay. So, yeah, I think those two pieces would look nice. So let's put the others away because they're like gold dust. So do I want it that way or that way? The other way, I think, possibly. Or that way and that way. Haha. I think there. I think like that. I like that. So, just squish these up a little bit. Oh, it's got a bit that comes out for the handle. And glue them on. Then we can put our Flippy Flappy string on, I think. Because we want, you know, we need to go in there once more to put the journaling card in the pocket. Before we do, I'll just have a bit of a look at what we've done today, because we've done quite a lot today. So that's going there, like that. That's pretty. Very, very, very pretty. Lovely. I just need to put something on that. I'll put that on it. There we go. Stick this down here. Oh, need some weight on it as well, really. It's just the chipboard is thick. Just leave some weight on that for 5 minutes and then I'll come back and we'll have a look and see what we've done today. I'll just find something heavy to put on that. Oh, I've got its mate here, look, that'll do. There. I'll just leave that for 5 minutes and I'll come back and we'll put the string on, have a look what we've done today, etc. Right, okay, they have stuck. So we just want to put our string on the string and button closure. Where's the end? Where's the end? There must be an end to this somewhere. Oh, come on. There we are. I see an end. Here we go. So I can put this on because basically we're finished with that. So just under there. Let's cut a bit of this off. Always cut more than you're thinking you're going to need. Tie a knot, then the other way round, like that. And I generally just go up to the top and do the same. I have no idea why. I have no idea why I do that. One knot would be amply sufficient. But this is what I do. There we go, and then we can cut this tail off like that, and then we'll tie that up right at the end when we've had a look at what we've achieved today. So we've got a Flippy Flappy. This flips that way, and it's got a journaling card in there with a butterfly that just sits on top of the pocket and looks really very pretty. We've got this Flippy Flappy that flaps this away, and it's got a little tuck spot there, and we've got a journaling card with some bits attached to it, and that just goes in there. They come out, I like to see them. Then we've got our acetate pocket, and I'm just waiting. I can't remember actually if they said they were going to deliver it today or tomorrow or whenever, but it will be coming at some stage. Oh, I know. I didn't order it off Amazon, that's right, so I don't know when it'll be coming. But we've put the card in there once we've got the papers that I've ordered. So that folds like that, that folds down, then we can tie our naughty, wants to go in a knot. Let's get that out. So yeah, then we can tie our string up. Like that. Chop off that excess. And this is going to have bits attached to it, but we've also done this, which is really pretty. It really, really is pretty. That goes that way. This gorgeous side pocket with a chipboard piece on there, and this lovely, lovely journaling card. Look at that, with the bits attached to the corner. So that fits in there like that, and there we have it. So that's that. So that goes in there like that. That comes over like so. And there we have it. So you can see we're making progress and it's getting nice and chunky. And when you get to that stage, pat yourself on the back. You've done really, really well. And we have our bit ready to grow from next time, this bit here. So I'll see you then, whenever that may be. Take care, and thank you very, very much for joining me. And don't forget, you're doing really well. This is a complex thing. So take your time and try and enjoy it. Bye for now.